a lot of the things that we think of as, unquestionably good in prior to the age of the machine and the age of transhumanism, invert their value in an age where limits are just increasingly a thing of the past. Freedom is, bodily autonomy, for example, is a pretty feminist thing to call for. In a way, say the 19th century, when there's no reliable contraception and women don't have legal standing separate to their husbands. So in 19th century America, there are plenty of women who, once married, had no standing to refuse sex to their husband, which in practice meant they had no standing to refuse continual pregnancy. And there are women who went through innumerable traumatic miscarriages and deeply exhausting grind. And from that vantage point, to call for bodily autonomy for women is of course a deeply feminist thing to do. But if you fast forward 150 years to a world where bodily autonomy means debating whether or not to rent the womb of a surrogate in a developing country because you've worked until the age of 45 and frozen your eggs and now you can't gestate your own baby. I think I'm no longer convinced that that's that's straightforwardly a feminist. That it's straightforwardly a feminist good. You see what I mean? I mean, there are plenty of other instances where people argue in the name of bodily autonomy for things which look, by no means unambiguously beneficial to women, in a way which is only really possible, thanks to medical technologies which didn't exist in the age where bodily autonomy and feminism became so inextricably linked. So yeah, I think there are, particularly freedom and particularly progress have taken on very different meanings, in a world where in the context of technologies which just want to merge us with the machine, and with medical advances which potentially remove all of our limits as human beings. And I wonder whether actually we're free enough, and what we need are more and better obligations. And that would be really where I would start from in terms of a negotiation, but not just women claiming something for ourselves, but of opening. That would be my opening question, really, for a negotiation with between men and women about how we should live together in the age of the machine. What are our obligations? What are the right obligations, and how do we agree those together in a way which is just based on what we have now, not trying to return to the past.